Just in, Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, admits caving to pressure from the Biden administration in 2021 to suppress certain information surrounding COVID, vaccine hesitancy, and the Hunter Biden laptop story, which turned out to be true. This likely played a major role influencing the election cycle alongside his $400 million donation to boost election access. This was deemed largely to benefit the Democrat Party through the Zuckerberg-Chan initiative. The outcome of Zuck's platform and involvement, well, Joe Biden became president. And under the Biden administration, crypto has struggled to gain ground with no regulatory clarity or a clear framework for crypto. This marked a period where the SEC and Gary Gensler took a scorched earth approach, suing instead of guiding crypto companies. But it seems Zuck has had a change of heart. So how will this affect the crypto landscape and, more importantly, your XRP bags? Well, in this video, we'll be covering Zuckerberg's letter to Jim Jordan and Congress and what he shares that's a great revelation about what happened in 2021, however, probably not shocking for more than half of Americans. We'll cover whether or not he's being sincere or if he's just trying to play ball with an incoming Trump admin because of a recent ruling on Google that threatens all of big tech. And we'll finally cover 3 reasons why XRP will likely do well in 2025 under a new administration. So if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the richest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Before we dive in, a quick reminder that the opinions in this video are for informational and educational purposes only and do not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. All investments, including cryptos, carry risks and potential losses. Always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor. We are not licensed financial advisors, and relying on our content for financial decisions is at your own risk. By watching this video, you agree we are not responsible for any losses or damages, and we do not guarantee any specific results or outcomes. Some of the links below may be affiliate links, and we may earn a commission, which actually helps support this channel and helps us to create value-based videos like this. We also hold some positions in the cryptocurrencies that we talk about, but that's only because we do what we believe in. However, this should not be interpreted as a recommendation for you to do the same. With that said, let's get into the video. Now, I want to start the video off by diving into a key report where they interviewed 277 people. Now, these people were institutional investor decision makers, chief operating officers, CEOs, portfolio managers, and heads of transformation. They ranged from anywhere in family offices, registered investment advisors, wealth managers, traditional asset managers, traditional hedge funds, asset owners, pension funds, so on and so forth. So this is a lot of key data on how they feel about the digital asset space and crypto markets. And here is what this report discovered. So the crypto space has been rife with high-profile scandals, enforcement actions, non-traditional communication strategies, and all sorts of other regulatory risks. So when we look at this data, you have to take into consideration that a lot of these bigger players have to focus on risk a lot. Okay, and so 47% of them prefer to engage with TradFi firms for digital asset services, whereas 82% of the people we just mentioned of respondents citing regulatory compliance as important in terms of their highest rank in selecting custody provider or technology platforms to invest with. And that percentage difference is quite a stark contrast to the 8% of respondents who prefer to interact with digital native assets solely. So that means going directly to your DeFi platforms and investing in cryptos that way. They far more prefer to invest in digital assets or crypto through a TradFi firm, which is what makes DeFi tech so cool as a company. They're a company that offers institutional grade exposure to digital assets through issuing of ETPs, which are exchange traded products, trading, strategic ventures, and even Web3 infrastructure. In other words, this is an institutional investor's dream. Now, DeFi Tech is the parent company to Valor. Now, what makes Valor so cool for a lot of these bigger players is that they can access these single-sided digital assets in a safe, regulatory manner where they don't have to worry about going on these DeFi platforms and then dealing with regulatory risk. Okay, they offer all sorts of different cryptos from Avalanche to Binance to Cardano to Chainlink and obviously Ripple, Solana, you name it. Now, obviously, you don't have to be an actual asset manager to access these ETPs. You can actually do it with over 20 exchange traded products or ETPs available through your bank or a regulated exchange. And you don't need any additional accounts to access these things. So in our opinion, it's the best way to access the cryptos that you want in a safe and regulated manner where you don't have to worry about a weird time come tax season or explaining to your spouse, right, why you're messing around with all these DeFi type things when the reality is you can get access to these through an actual regulated exchange. Now, recently, the parent company DeFi.Tech just shared their quarter's results. Now, I want to highlight a few things in their Q2 results. Valor announced the launches of Short Spot Bitcoin ETP alongside other ETPs and the very first yield-bearing Bitcoin ETP in collaboration with Core Foundation, offering investors exposure to Bitcoin with a 5.65% yield, which is unheard of. And this company is growing. They're doing tremendous things. Valor's ETP business reported an assets under management of $730.1 million as of June 30th this year, 2024, a 43.7% increase from December 31st of 2023. That is an insane growth in only about half of a year. Revenues were $133.2 million and $128.2 million for 3 and 6 months ending in June 30th, compared to $7.4 million and $4 million for the same periods in 2023. The company has experienced significant revenue growth since Q1 of 2024. Valor's ETPs have witnessed a nearly 700% increase in the assets under management from market lows in 2022. That is nearly a 350% increase per year. And we're not even finished with 2024. Now, the reason that I am sharing this is because their stock, ticker DEFTF, looks extremely strong right now. And according to all accounts, it is currently severely undervalued when you compare it against many publicly traded companies that trade at tremendous multiples versus or relative to this. That said, you can see here that we had a high at 351. We're currently sitting at 220. The trend is consistently up on a weekly time frame, which is a long period of time to be up. And it's still not trading. It's still undervalued. Okay. It's not trading at those multiples other companies are. The majority, we're talking 90+% of publicly traded companies. We're also looking at the fact that we're consistently seeing support at that 20 EMA, and we look ready to break out above the 220 range. The only other range that we could potentially hit from there really is that $3.50 range, and then it is free sailing, as there has been no other all-time high. That is the all-time high. So this is the ticker DEFTF, very strong company, very strong earnings, consistently seeing growth among all of their products that they offer. And so it's kind of like buying a piece of that digital real estate, if you will. If you believe the future is crypto and DeFi, and many institutional players are going to want access to these regulated products, well, then this is a great way to get your hand in that pot. So to learn more about them, go to defi.tech, defi.tech. And let's get into the video. Okay, folks, so we have some major news surrounding Mark Zuckerberg. And here's a post from Patrick Bet-David from the PBD podcast, major player when it comes to talking about politics and the state of the world, a large audience, so on and so forth. That said, he said, breaking, Mark Zuckerberg just admitted to working with the Biden-Harris admin to censor Americans. And this was back in 2021. He either admitted to this because of one of three reasons. The first reason being that he's honorable. 2, he's done with the Democrat Party. In both of those, fair. And then 3, he's getting ahead head of a whistleblower. Now, that is an opinion. It's a theory. We don't know for sure. Maybe something will come out, but either way, this is a very hard letter to write. And in this letter, which we're going to cover shortly, we don't have to go into the exact letter. You're more than welcome to look it up. He speaks to Jim Jordan in the Congress, and this was posted on August 26th of 2020. We're going to get into the Wall Street Journal article to talk about it because, yes, it is legit. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg seems to have turned a new leaf. And yes, back in 2020, it was widely admitted to, or known, I should say, that Mark Zuckerberg dumped $400 million into the prior election in a lot of initiatives that basically only helped Democrats, but not Republicans. And that's just consensus for many people. It doesn't mean it's 100% true. He said he tried to remain unbiased, but at the end of the day, we all knew which way he leaned based on his platform and how things were actually censored. And that letter is a confession of what actually happened. Okay, so Zuckerberg wrote that senior Biden administration officials, including the White House, had repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor, satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. In the same article, you can see that, yes, they did toss $400 million into nonprofits to help conduct elections during the 2020 pandemic. And this is another thing that Zuckerberg wrote. I know that some people believe this work, speaking to what he did over at Meta, benefited one party over the other, Zuckerberg wrote. So I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. He's admitting that things were wrong. They got things wrong. In this letter to Jordan, Zuckerberg said that Meta shouldn't have demoted a New York Post story, which was deemed to be true, about President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, ahead of the 2020 election. And that involved the laptop, right? It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation. And in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story, Zuckerberg wrote. Now, many people would probably assume that he's trying to get ahead of something, that he knows something about this upcoming election that other people don't. And he's worried about more pressure from a new incoming administration or even the current administration. As we've already seen, Google loses an antitrust case over search engine dominance. This is a major win for the average company and player and a major loss for big tech. Okay, Google, which performs about 90% of the world's internet searches, exploited its market dominance to stomp out competitors. U.S. District Judge Amit P. Mehta in Washington, D.C. said it is a long-awaited ruling. Google is a monopolist, and it has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. And I would argue many people agree, even if they are a great search engine, it has been proven that they definitely meddle in the search results when something is political or on the line that affects their business. In other words, this is a really big moment for that movement to bring big tech under control. And guess who has a big tech platform? Mark Zuckerberg. Guess who actually aided the Democratic Party in 2020 through that election cycle? Mark Zuckerberg. And we could argue there were many reasons. Maybe he really wanted, didn't like Trump. Maybe he really wanted Biden to win. He could play a role in that. Maybe he genuinely feared that the Biden administration would do to him what they did to Google recently. So we really don't know. But here's what he says. I've been showing otherwise. I know that some people believe this work benefited one party over the other. My goal is now to be neutral and not play a role one way or another, or to even appear to be playing a role. So I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. So this genuinely feels like a major win now for free speech here in respects to Meta. We just want to see it actually happen. We would like to see where they're not suppressing certain information and then promoting other information and stories. And we just want free, fair information and media. That said, the whole media consistently talks negatively about Trump, very positively about Harris, when at first, not even too long ago, she was the least popular vice president in history. And all of a sudden she's this superstar who can't get in front of an actual audience and do a normal interview. That said, we do believe that at this point in time, Zuckerberg probably has changed a new leaf, and that probably happened after this moment.
I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, I mean, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. I mean, the historic events over the last, over the weekend. And I mean, on a personal note, it's, I mean, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, I mean, it's, and I think, look, at some level as an American, it's like hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
That is an insane endorsement if you've ever heard one. The reality is, like, I don't want to get political. I don't want to endorse a candidate. Yet basically he's like, I endorse this candidate. I've never seen anything more badass. So I do believe at this point in time, after that moment, he's probably a changed man. I mean, we've seen his whole appearance change from super nerd who's like a robot alien lizard to now becoming a person that fights, that goes out, wakeboarding with an American flag, right? He's wearing all of this dope type of clothing. Like, it's just funny to watch. So there is a transformation happening, and I do believe all of the stars are aligning for a potential Trump candidacy, which would be very positive news for the entire crypto space. Now, just a quick shameless plug, but one that I believe is going to greatly benefit you if you are an XRP holder or plan to hold XRP. The reality is we don't know where the markets are going to go, right? We can only play our best hand and bets and ultimately manage risk well. That said, one of the best ways I know to manage risk is to at least put your XRP to work in the #1 play to earn XRP game. This is a great way for you to earn more crypto in less than 10 minutes by playing. That is it. Now, what's so beautiful is it will allow you to compound on those bags. It doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but it is a great way to compound on those XRP bags in case we see a bull market, which would be very, very bullish because now you have more XRP. On the flip side, if the bear starts to come in and we see the market tank a little bit, right? Ultimately, you're putting that XRP to work, earning a little bit on top in terms of crypto. And so now it's like it's reduced a bit of that volatility in your portfolio. Either way, you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. Go to the description below, click on that link to bullrunners.com or just go to bullrunners.com. I look forward to seeing you on the other side, my friend. Now, I find it kind of funny that the Biden administration now is turning into full degen in a single month, when over the last 3.5 years, right, and coming up on 4 now, they've consistently attacked crypto or allowed players in their administration, right, and at these agencies to attack crypto. Now, here is just one example of many over the years. On May 16th, the U.S. Senate voted to pass a resolution to overturn an SEC controversial staff accounting bulletin number. Okay, that said, despite Congress passing the resolution, it did not secure enough votes to be veto-proof, I'm assuming at the House, before the passage. So in other words, Biden vowed to veto it. His administration argues that overturning SAB 121, and listen to this, would weaken the SEC's ability to protect investors and the financial system from crypto-related risks, right? But at the end of the day, there is no innovation, there is no protection for investors. All it is the SEC consistently retroactively attacking major crypto players instead of doing their dang job and giving us a real clear regulatory framework. In other words, one of the most bullish things for crypto, okay, is going to be having access to free and fair and unbiased information about both candidates. Here we have information about Biden and the administration and Harris attacking crypto or saying they're going to do stuff even in 2022 with the Terra Luna collapse. And, we're talking stable coins. They said they're going to pass some resolutions there. They never did. At the end of the day, we're going to get some actual clarity under a new administration, which would potentially really be bullish for XRP and the entire crypto space. And to prove this, Trump, even at Bitcoin Nashville 2024, shared this.
Let me say it again. On day 1, I will fire Gary Gensler. Whoa. Let me say it again.
We'll listen to it one more time.
On day 1, I will fire Gary Gensler.
and the crowd went wild. If anyone remembers that and saw that, it felt like a total relief to the entire crypto industry, which now has many super PACs and crypto investors backing Trump because at least we'll have regulatory clarity, and that does include Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple. And the third major Polish piece of news in a new administration for, crypto and in particular XRP would be the fact that if we get a new president in office and a new administration, okay, the next up in line for a spot ETF would be Solana. Solana ranks in at number 3 in terms of product or digital asset in major portfolio managers' portfolios. That said, the number 4 spot currently is with XRP. So it's highly likely under a new administration, if they have some regulatory clarity and frameworks, Solana will likely not be deemed a security, which will lead to a legitimate and an eventual spot ETF. And I would argue that's no longer really conjecture or theory. It's extremely likely to happen under a new administration in 2025. And guess what would be the next major portion or altcoin to follow? That would be XRP. So yes, XRP would be highly likely to get a spot ETF if Solana did. Now, even if Solana didn't, right, with the advent of this settlement and with the SEC at 125 million and true regulatory clarity, the fact that they can no longer state that it is deemed a security, and that was a ruling in 2023, then it's, even if Solana doesn't get a spot ETF, it's still likely that XRP will. So for example, here is Nate Garassi basically explaining this whole situation around the ETF movement, and is specifically pertaining to Solana. Okay, he says in either case, the agency would also need comfortability surrounding surveillance sharing agreements with currently unregulated spot crypto exchanges, yada, yada, yada. But ultimately what he says is all of that appears highly unlikely to happen under the current administration, which makes the Van Eck and 21 share filings for a Solana ETF likely bets on a more crypto-friendly government. And there it is. So whether or not we have a crypto-friendly government into the 2025 year, okay, at the end of the day, XRP just won a major lawsuit and now is sitting in limbo between a settlement. The odds are like 50-50 right now that they're actually going to get an appeal come October 6th. So if October 6th passes and there is no appeal, then it's extremely likely, even in a crypto-unfriendly administration, that a lot of demand is going to be there for an XRP spot ETF, which would be uber bullish. So let us know what you think is going to happen to crypto and XRP under this new situation and development with Mark Zuckerberg and Meta and X sharing free and fair information in the comments below. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe and like the video. And one last time, head on over to bullrunners.com and discover how to earn more crypto in less than 10 minutes with the #1 play to earn XRP game. This is a great way to put that XRP of yours, if you're holding it, to work to earn crypto. Right now, there are people earning between 1,000 to even 2,000 XRP per day. And the way you do that is by getting crypto out of the game and converting it for XRP. So great way to compound on those bags before the end of the bull run. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, my friend. Goodbye.